Peeps, we are back and we are here with a Busch Gardens Williamsburg Howl-O-Scream update. They updated their website this week and it appears that they've released all the information about this year's 2017 Howl-O-Scream event. From what I can tell, the website's been updated, the verbiage has been updated, and it appears we have one new haunted house this year. So the big news this week was that they would be doing away with their long-time standing Bitten house. Bitten has been at Busch Gardens Williamsburg for a good number of years, at least 7+ years, out in the back of the park. Vampire themed house. We talked about it last year in our Howl-O-Scream video. It's they play the Bram Stoker's Dracula score as you walk through the house. It's got sand. Very cool house, kind of a classic house now, but they are doing away with it, and instead they are replacing it with a new house called Frostbite. Now, Frostbite is not going to be in the same location as Bitten, however. It's actually going to be in a location, kind of an unexpected location. It's going to be inside Curse of Dark Castle. Curse of Dark Castle is the dark ride at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Very cool ride. I'm guessing they're closing it for the season because they say you will actually be walking through the ride instead of riding it, kind of down where the track is, which I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work. Should be very interesting. They say it's not actually themed to Dark Castle. It's themed to this this kind of frostbite ice horror theme, but it will walk through the Curse of Dark Castle ride. So they're going to make good use of that space. Very interested in seeing what that's going to look like. In addition, they've announced that there will be 7 haunted houses this year. Circo Sinistro returning from last year. 5 scare zones, 4 shows, all sorts of cool stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually show you a couple of videos here. First, we're going to show you the videos of the confirmed houses, or the houses that they've announced on the website. Last year, Busch Gardens actually did a series of videos, and I'm going to piece them together here for you, kind of backstories on all their haunted houses and their scare zones. So let's take a look at that.
Legends of Howl-O-Scream, Chronicles of the Catacombs. In the late 1700s, Paris, France was faced with a unique problem. Overcrowded cemeteries begged the need to expand, and the solution was unique. The ancient mines of Paris' underground tunnel systems was used to house mile after mile of bones. For years, nightly processions transferred remains from the cemeteries to the reinforced tunnels. Many people know this part of history, but there's more to the story than ever was printed in textbooks. Because to believe it meant you believed in ghosts. It's very simple, really. One's final resting place should be just that, final. When graves are disturbed, so are the souls of the remains, and bizarre happenings are certain to follow. Spirits were wakened in Paris. Ghosts, or phantoms, are said to search the catacombs, reviving the most evil of buried souls to walk with them. Through the dripping chambers and underground passageways of Paris, the voices of the dead are often heard, and some are said to have taken shape.
Legends of Howl-O-Scream, the fabled saga of Circo Sinistro. This is nothing more than a story whispered about for centuries in hushed tones, too inconceivable for average humanity. Because what happens under the fated big top is known only to those who have been lured in by its uncharacteristic charm. During the in-between times, when the mists of reality and the netherworld become one, lost souls from bygone eras come together to seek admittance to the other side. It is a gathering in a realm known only as Circo Sinistro, where only those who are truly deranged are allowed to perform. Every so often, the circus abandons its veil of secrecy and appears for all to witness. These tents of terror are said to offer a sense of tranquility, enticing guests to come in and experience their wonders. But be warned, not everything is meant to be seen. For once you leave the mundane world, all all is not what it seems. And soon, the bizarre sights that are too grotesque for some are precisely what these guests become.
Legends of Howl Scream, the macabre family's secret. The year was 1977. 12 locals had vanished in a small town in Iowa, and panic gripped the community. Each time someone disappeared, an intricate corn husk doll was found in that person's window. Accusations pointed to the loner farmer, Jasper McCobb. Screams had been rumored coming from his decrepit property, but more evident, Jasper's mother, Meemaw, had been well known for her corn husk doll creations before her sudden death a few years before. Search parties were sent into McCobb's unkept cornfields, but Jasper made sure that no one returned. He was determined to keep his secret from the town. Meemaw was still very much alive, and he had been capturing victims for her to test her demonic powers on. The town gathered, determined to put an end to the abductions. Together, they would charge the farm and find their missing neighbors. But when they set foot on the property, they encountered much worse than suspected. The missing townspeople were posted around the farm in all stages of transformation. Some had just been tortured, waiting helplessly for Meemaw to take the last bit of life from them. And for some, well, they were completely in her control.
Legends of Howl-O-Scream, Life on the Line. In 2005, the Pompey Metro was growing at a rapid rate, with thousands of commuters already using it daily. A new line connecting the two sides of the city was scheduled to open the following year. Construction crews worked day and night, finalizing the underground subway until one evening they ran into a problem. An ancient pipe was struck while laying the track. I'll never forget seeing the look of horror in the eyes of the construction worker as he gave the statement. He heard the incident unfold on his radio as the crew supervisor narrated the events happening deep into the ground. He said that at first the crew thought steam was bursting through the pipes, except no one was burned, and with each passing second the mist became thicker, more menacing. The strange whistling of the receiver suggested that the threatening gas had made its way to the crew, and all that could be heard for minutes was a static sound of the old radio. Then the supervisor's hoarse voice suddenly echoed, becoming deeper, vindictive even. It was barely audible against the background noise, but it sounded as if he was calling to those on the other end of the receiver, daring them to join him on the line. The huddled team above ground bowed their heads and took off their hats before giving the dreaded code over the radio, ceasing communication. From that moment on, the deadline was off the grid.
Legends of Howl-O-Scream, the tale of Camp Timber Ridge. My great-grandfather used to work at Camp Timber Ridge. He spoke very little of his days there, but when he did, it always came with warning. Pop lost many friends during the strange accident long ago, but it's what happened in the hours following the brutal mishap that haunted him. Everyone that worked the late shift that day perished, or so some believe. It was an average afternoon working at the camp when some of the loggers were horribly injured. Their invasive wounds quickly became infected, and the men died within hours. As the other loggers sat around mourning the loss of their friends, they heard a particular noise coming from where the lifeless bodies lay. All of a sudden, those dead rose from the ground in a murderous rage. Any and all that were still at the camp were feasted upon. It's said that even now, the undead loggers prowl the forest in search of their next victims. The camp has been closed for almost a century, but every now and then, hapless campers and hikers wander into the forest looking for solitude.
Legends of Howl-O-Scream, the Woods Woman legend. Centuries ago, a necromancer named Scarlet and her husband once helped heal villagers of disease and sickness out of their home in the woods. One day, things went terribly wrong, and the couple innocently killed a villager. Overcome with grief, the villagers retaliated against the couple, killing Scarlet's husband, having crows claw out his eyes. Scarlet's unbearable sorrow turned her once healing powers into a dark and sinister magic. Once people from the town started to disappear, the villagers knew it was Scarlet to blame. They trapped her in her house, burying her alive, and the story soon became legend. Last year, it said the construction crews revealed a house-like structure buried deep within the ground. Experts from American underground archaeology and research were brought in to explore the centuries-old property. As suspected, they believed this to be the house from the Woods Woman legend. An excavation team decided to explore the mysterious house, but when they pried the front doors open, a sinister force was unleashed.
We'll have 5 returning scare zones, including the awesome Demon Street, returning from last year's Sideshow Square, Vampire Point, and more. Check out some videos for that.
Attention, Wendigo Woods has been placed under containment. Trained personnel have been brought in to protect you. Please follow all instructions given by the guard. Contact with the infected. As previously mentioned, we will have 4 returning shows and the return of the escape room concept, including the return of Case of Mr. Carver and the all-new Haunted Hotel escape room. Those are up charges, but they are absolutely awesome. So what are you guys most looking forward to this year at Busch Gardens Hollowscream? Comment down below.
And also hit that subscribe button down there somewhere. Make sure you subscribe. We have a bunch of cool things coming up. This week we are going to be out in Texas. If I get a chance, I'm going to film something very cool for you guys. There's also San Diego Comic-Con this week, so tons of cool things to show you in regards to that. We're not actually going to be at Comic-Con, but if you followed us in previous years, you know we show you where to find exclusives outside of San Diego Comic-Con. So we'll bring you along on that journey as well. And this weekend was actually D23 Expo out in Anaheim, California. You guys let me know if you're interested in me doing kind of a recap video on the news that we found interesting in regards to that. Rather than piecemeal videos throughout the event, I figured I'd probably do one wrap-up video to kind of talk about all the big news, including Star Wars Land and that kind of thing. So thank you guys for watching. We will see you guys next time.
And be sure to check out my brand new podcast with Kyle from View from the Cheap Seats, Drew from Inside Universal, and Nathan, The Four Hauntsmen, now available online in all different places. For more information, check out Twitter @4Hauntsmen.